purposes, and this is the only way to pick up audio. So everybody speak directly into the microphone. The Historic Preservation Commission is a 9-member board appointed by the City Council and serve on a voluntary basis without compensation. The purposes of the commission are to promote the educational, cultural, economic, and general welfare of the city through the preservation and protection of buildings, sites, structures, areas and districts of historic significance and interest through the preservation and enhancement of local historic, architectural, archaeological, and aesthetic heritage found in the city, through the maintenance of the distinctive character of the city's historic districts, and through the promotion and enhancement of the city's historic and aesthetic attraction to tourists and visitors. Our procedure for conducting business is the petitioner for each item will be asked to come forward, state his or her name for the record, and present his or her request. The board will ask any question the board may have. Once public testimony and discussion for a particular item has concluded, the members of the board will deliberate and will render its decision. Members with a personal or financial interest in any request are required to recuse themselves from voting. And now to our audience, and we'd just like to ask the members of this commission to introduce themselves, and tonight we'll start from my right and the audience left.
I'm Cindy Keeping.
Dallas Hanbury.
Carol King.
Brian Mann.
James Long.
And I'm Richard Bailey, the chairman of this commission. To our commissioners, you have a copy of the action of the December 11, 2018 meeting. The chair will now entertain a motion for the adoption of those minutes.
I move we accept the minutes as distributed.
Okay, that's been moved. Is that the motion? Is there a second?
I second it.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any unreadiness? All those in favor, let it be known by a show of hands. Motion carried. Thank you so much. Moving along with our agenda for this evening, we will begin with committee reports, revamping the historic sign program, and we just like one of the person on that committee to lead us in discussion.
Each of you in your packets received the historic properties signage guidelines, that just sort of a tentative that we sent out to everybody for your comments. If you will look over and then get back to either Cindy Keeping or myself on any thoughts you might have on this particular, on what we would actually, because we are responsible for the guidelines, not just the signs themselves. So who gets them, who doesn't get them, and the process is also our responsibility. So we need to, revamp that too. We're exploring the possibility of continuing to use the vendor that we have been using as well, and to our audience, if anyone is interested in working with us on a design. We have a lot of ideas. We need a graphic designer to help pull this together for us to get moving. That's it.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Can you, I have a question on the guidelines. What's the difference between locally designated and locally designated historic district designated?
Some properties themselves are designated only, and then some are contributing structures within a historic district.
Okay, and who does it? The property owner?
We do. Well, we do the designation. They apply to us. They bring us the survey form.
So it's designated, locally designated by the commission?
Yes, by this commission.
Okay.
So whether it's an individual piece of property or a historic district, a group of people, a street or a neighborhood that goes together, we are the designators.
They can't designate it themselves?
No.
Well,
No.
you all recommend, city council
city council,
designates.
right.
It's done by ordinance. So it's actually entered into the code.
Well, that may need a little clarification. I
That's a
wouldn't
good
want
point.
anybody to argue that that means that they can do it
Just,
themselves.
right, that's a good point.
And our code actually refers to all designated properties as districts, whether it's an individual property or a neighborhood.
Whether
That's
it's one
confusing.
piece or multiples. Yeah.
Is that common, Christy?
Is that what? I can't.
Is that common? I mean, it seems like it's confusing.
I'm not sure why they did that. You know, some municipalities, and I don't know if this is done in Alabama or not, to be honest, individual properties might be considered a landmark, an individual landmark versus a historic district. I'm not sure why that language was adopted, or if there was an issue with the state enabling legislation that they were following language that is in the state law. I'm not for certain where that comes from. I just know it's there.
Any other question or comment?
So what's the next step then? To seek out the graphic designer?
Yeah, I think that's, we're kind of at a dead end on that. Someone who's interested in working with us, looking at some of the city seals and the city motifs, and come up with something that is us.
Right.
is
So that's the
historic
next step, though.
preservation.
You guys will seek out a graphic. Great.
And then we can chop the price with some other vendors, but, you know, the price we've been paying is pretty fair
Yeah.
in the market, so.
Okay, you've heard, I'm sorry, is that, okay. You've heard the report of the Historic Sign Program Committee. Is there any other comment or questions you'd like to have? Okay.
So I have one more question. So remind me of the time frame that we're shooting for to get this done. Is this? Are we
Last
saying-
year?
Well, okay. So yeah, last year. So
Well, no, I mean, we're really.
are we trying to get done by the awards program, or is
That would
that
be nice.
okay?
I don't know, because since we have the class, we have the seminar in between.
That's true.
But, you know, I think that's creating a lot of awareness, and that would be a good situation to introduce the new
The sign.
guidelines and the new signs too, if we could get it together in the next month or two. So,
Let me ask you this, since you mentioned that, do you think it's a good idea if we made that standard procedure at all of our awards program, if we were to have it ready by that time, that we would do that every year, if need be?
Any changes, you mean?
Oh, I hope we don't have to do this every year.
right, I was going to
That's
say,
true.
hopefully this won't be for another couple of decades, but.
That's true.
Right, just because that's, for 8 weeks, we're going to have the attention of some really interested people.
And,
So,
you know, have
there may
you talked to anyone at Midstate?
Me? No.
Either one of you? Because there's a good chance they've got graphic designers too.
That's a good point. Yeah, that is, they could actually have something in-house.
I am following up. Both of us lost track of it before the holidays.
Yeah.
Trying to get some information on another marketing and design firm that has done some design work for the city in like the M with stars logo that's being used, just to get a ballpark of what that arrangement was and what it cost.
Right.
And so I know who to talk to about, even if it's just cleaning up the design that Adina had come up with.
Right.
So, anyway.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Preservation leadership class?
Well, so we have a few things. We have a budget of $1,750.
So far.
So
Yeah.
far.
Yay.
We just got a very generous donation from Sandra Nickel for what, $250?
$250. John Lee Paint and Marshall Millworks all gave $250 each.
Sweet.
So we have a significant budget for things like swag, like so bags,
Bags.
T-shirts. We've talked about various vendors. Christy, who's working on? We have 2 vendors we're looking at right now, and who's working on the second vendor?
Paula's been in touch with him.
Okay. And so
And he was waiting on, he had ordered some samples so we could actually look at the material, and he wanted to make sure that the printing process wouldn't damage the fabric. So there were two things that they were looking into for imprinting on bags.
So I guess in the next, between now and the next meeting, we'd like to get the bags taken care of.
I hope so.
Okay, all right.
With a design and.
Get them done so we can have them ready.
Because our sponsorship deadline is January 18th, so we can finalize our brochure and make that available to start registration, because the inspections department has a table at the Montgomery Home Expo this year, and they've said we could put materials on their table at the Home Expo. So I think that would be a good place to catch a lot of people who, even if they're not residents of the district, might be interested in what we have to talk about. So.
And then I guess the other thing we need to do is look at some spaces at Huntington that'll suit both our space and AV needs. And Brian seems to really know the folks at Huntington well. So is that something you want to take up, Brian? Or do we all need to go over there one day and look at some classroom space or anything?
I'll be happy to go over there anytime. I just thought that y'all wanted to go and do it also.
We can certainly do that.
That's fine, and since they were over, we didn't try anything over the holidays because obviously
They probably weren't.
academics
No one's
get
there,
to
yeah.
take a couple weeks off. So
So maybe just whenever you're free, let us know, and I can usually get away whenever. So
I'll make a note to contact the person at Huntington and see when they could show us around, maybe like a lunch hour or something.
yeah.
okay.
Just have to look at the AV and see what's going on.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have, unless Christy has anything to offer.
Okay, any other question or comment? Thank you very much. 2019 awards.
Have y'all met?
We have not met. I haven't met.
No, we hadn't met. I was supposed to get somebody to call me.
Okay, so at this juncture, what's going to happen is I'm going to change the dates on last year's application, and that's what we're going with because we've got to get it out. So your next task will be figuring out, if you want to solicit outside reviewers for committees or, for award selection. I do have a list of projects that were completed last year. Some of them on the list are not done yet, so they'll have to, we'll hold off on those where we can actually solicit some people. And I will get with the PR folks to push that out.
Would structures that are kind of like mixed use, well, I guess it's not mixed use, but like commercial, like in terms of like the Bell Building, for example, is that something that's in our purview? Or?
Absolutely. I think commercial rehab was one of the categories. So, for example, if I have Jerome Moore on the list for the building that the Bibb Street Pizza and Common Bond, just as an example. Trying to think of what else is done downtown. For this year, I think we will see the Bell Building. We will see the hotel at the Bishop Parker complete. I think, and the Hanks,
I
the
don't think
Baggage
he's
Building,
finished yet, is
he's
he?
not done yet either. So
Because I was looking at it for the
the
something
baggage
else.
building at Union Station is being renovated. So yes.
Downtown.
So
there's a
commercial,
lot downtown.
residential, so we'll push it to the neighborhoods, and then we'll have to decide what kind of reception we want to have, since we will have, hopefully, if people register for this class, which we're going to cap at 25, we will have more people because that's their graduation. So that was our way of trying to suck those people in and give us more of an audience to bring some of these things to the public's attention.
Okay. Any other question, comment regarding our 2019 awards? All right, moving right along. Christian, do you have anything you want to say about attendance?
We discussed at the last meeting the attendance policy, and since we had imposed this before, we do have one board member who attended 2 meetings last year. The bylaws state that any member failing to attend 50% or more of the regularly scheduled meetings may be requested to resign by the chairman on a majority vote of the members. Members may also be removed for cause by the city council. We sent Tracy Larkin a letter outlining our concerns and our hesitation in moving forward, but that with our efforts to have a more proactive agenda in doing the class and the awards programs, that we really needed participation of board members. And that while we understand it is her desire to continue serving, we don't feel that she is able to serve. He did not respond, so I'm assuming that he would leave that to this body to decide what, if you all want to invoke that attendance rule.
So was the letter to Councilor Larkin the only way that we have tried to communicate with him? Or have we tried to call, or is that not standard? Or?
Usually we do it in writing.
And then and then if he doesn't respond, we don't follow up in any other way?
I did not. Did you speak with him? I have not. I got it to him before the council meeting on that day. So
he has seen it?
Yes.
But, we don't know for sure.
Any other comments?
So we're just not sure that he's actually even seen it?
Or
was this put into his hand before the meeting?
No, it was in his box before the meeting. There wasn't much in there. So if he didn't see it, it's because he didn't open it. He is aware, he has been aware for several years that there has been an issue. And he has been reluctant to address it because she's a personal friend.
So maybe he just wants us to handle it. Maybe he just wants us to handle it.
That would be my
I can understand that.
my guess.
Is he prepared to nominate someone else, do
I
you
hope
think?
so. I mean, the letter, we asked that we hoped that he would we had his support
Right.
in doing that. And I've got, there's an individual I can think of who is a resident of the Garden District, who is a member of the Black Heritage Council, who I think would be a really good addition to the board if he was willing to do it. And of course, if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. Sometimes they ask and sometimes they don't. So it's up to y'all if you want to take a vote on that, which would need a motion, a second, and a vote.
Would everybody feel comfortable if we table this until the next meeting and come prepared to take action at our February meeting? Would everybody feel more comfortable doing that, or would you want to?
What's the holdup?
What is the purpose of tabling it?
I mean, I'm just, in terms, I'm looking at people's faces and,
I don't have any problem making the motion.
all right, okay,
If it were me, I'm sure nobody would have any problem making the motion.
sure, all right. Okay, let's do it like this, make certain we stay focused. The chair will now entertain a motion that we remove.
That's not what's before, it's to request she resign. It's not. This is what was in the letter.
Right, I'm reading it.
Vote to request the resignation.
Yes. That we follow the bylaws and we request the resignation.
Now, the last time we did this, you all voted someone off the island, and we just sent the councilman a letter saying, we voted him off the island.
Oh, okay.
You need to find us a new warm body.
I think that's what we have to do now. Assuming
Well, there have been meetings throughout the year. I think it's been tough to get a 5-person quorum here, and we need as many possibilities each month to have a 5-person quorum. It hasn't been as bad as it was, I believe, before myself and Mr. Long came on board, but it's still a problem. At least probably 2 months last year we didn't. But with this ambitious agenda in 2019, we need to do something about that.
So Councilor Larkin's district, if you will, in the city includes Garden District, Cottage Hill.
Part of Cottage Hill, Capitol Heights, Highland Park, further north.
Sheridan
And
Heights.
part of the dividing line in Cloverdale is Felder Avenue. So ASU.
And so who is Arch Lee the commissioner for that?
No, I'm Arch Lee's district.
Yeah. Felder's the split there. Tracy Larkin and Arch Lee's districts kind of abut one another up through Cottage Hill and Cloverdale.
So in the vicinity of, say, like, what is that? I'm going blank. Narrow Lane and Norman Bridge.
I'm
That's Mr.
not
Lee's.
sure where the line is. I'm going to guess that's probably Arch Lee, since I'm seeing Clay McKinnis signs up over there.
Right,
That is correct.
Up to Narrow Lane
and further east.
and further east.
Okay,
Let me just make sure I completely understand this. And then Carter Hill, up to Carter Hill.
Felder Avenue is the dividing line in Cloverdale at Carter. So Tracy Larkin has Carter Hill Road.
And Norman Bridge is
Everything
on the
north
west.
of
Everything
Felder.
north.
North of Felder
Of Felder.
is Mr. Larkin's. South is Mr. Lee's.
Okay.
But he doesn't,
They do not have to appoint someone from their district.
he did, yeah. It's not recommended.
And technically, under state law, councilmen aren't supposed to be making the appointments anyway. They're supposed to recommend 3 people to the mayor, and the mayor makes the selection. But that's not how it works.
okay, to make sure we stay focused here, the chair will now entertain a motion regarding our member who has missed more than 50% of the meeting. The chair will now entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, before that, I just would like to record, since this is a different meeting, to reflect the times or how we went about advising her, Commissioner Bush, of the meetings during last year. And any attempts that we made to communicate meetings to her.
Well, I mean, everyone gets a packet in the mail, and then everyone gets a phone call, or 2 or 3, and in her case, it's usually been more than 1 phone call, and I didn't hear from either one of them about this meeting.
Okay.
So, I mean, short of driving over there and dragging them out of the house, I don't know what to do.
In other
And
words,
we have cell numbers, home numbers, and office numbers. So we have multiple numbers to contact them, and we make every effort to try each of those. It's like Paula leaves on the call. We've got a call sheet to keep track of who's coming, who were messages left for. Yours says sent email. So.
let me just say this to this body. The telephone call that one of us gets, all of us gets. The communication by mail that one of us receives, all of us receives. So we want to know, what did a given commissioner receive? All we have to do is ask ourselves, what did we receive? And Christy, am I on sound footing to say that none of the correspondence that we've sent to her has been returned?
As like undeliverable?
Yes, or something
No,
of that
I
nature.
mean, as far as I know, they're still out
Right.
in,
Okay. all right. So,
Harbor Heights.
Commissioner Long, does that address your concern?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. The chair will now entertain a motion regarding the status of our member who has missed more than 50% of the meetings.
I move in accordance with the bylaws of the Historic Preservation Commission of the City of Montgomery that due to Ms. Bush having failed to attend 50% or more of the regularly scheduled meetings for the calendar year of 2018, she be requested to resign by the chairman of the commission.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, is that moving properly second? Any unreadiness? All those in favor, let it be known by a show of hands.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Motion carried. Thank you very
Now,
much.
do you want to vote against or abstain?
I vote against it. I vote
Okay.
nay.
Okay,
Okay.
one negative vote. All right. Next on our agenda for this afternoon, election of chair and vice chair for 2019. The chair will now entertain all those in favor, we'll start with the vice chair. Is there any nomination for vice chair?
I nominate Carol King.
All right. Any other nomination for vice chair? Once, twice, 3 times. Ms. Carol King, I guess we can say that you are vice chair for 2019.
Unless you don't want
Say
it.
what?
Now the chair will entertain nomination for chair for 2019. Any other any nomination?
Move that Richard Bailey remain and serve as chair of this commission into 2019.
I second that.
Or been moving properly second. Any other nomination? Thank you very much.
Do we have a second on Carol's? Do we have a second
He
on
didn't
vice
ask
chair?
for a second.
Do we have a
Oh,
second?
it's not official, Carol. You can still get out of it if you don't want it. Carol, say yeah if you don't want it.
Did I not ask for a second?
No,
we
sir,
had- we had
because I was
vote.
waiting.
Oh,
We had
okay.
motion by
It's your chance,
Hamburg.
Carol.
Anybody want a second? Second?
Oh, I'll second it.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Krista, do you have anything else for us?
No.
Okay. Carol, would you want to make a statement regarding your reelection for vice chair?
If you will.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate the confidence. How's that? I did also want to, we did have a flyer, Landmarks, on January the 31st has our Renovators Open House, where we go into the neighborhoods and to the commercial properties looking at current renovations. This particular renovation is at 447 South Goldwaite Street, across from Winter Place and Sanctuary there up in the Cottage Hill Annex. And it's a great restoration done by the Hamptons. It's a Lake Victorian, real interesting materials, concrete block, first floor, and shingle up second floor. So they've done a really fun job on the inside and are doing it themselves. And it's a really been an addition to the Cottage Hill neighborhood. So do plan to come if you can.
Thank you very much. This is interesting. And just let me say to everyone, I appreciate the opportunity to serve as chairman of this Historic Preservation Commission, and I look forward to working with everybody in 2019. And I'd just like to reinforce that something that one of our commissioners made earlier. We are supposed to attend the meetings, and we have some business that we must attend, and we need to encourage all of our commissioners to attend so we can conduct the public's business. And I appreciate your coming here every second Tuesday to keep our area's focus centered on historic preservation. Let me just thank Ms. Adrena Kramer for coming out, being with us this afternoon, and Cindy Christie, I don't know why I say Cindy, Ms. Christie Anderson.
My father-in-law does that too, so it's okay.
And for bringing a husband out this afternoon, sir, please come back. Miss Cindy Keeper's husband,
Yes.
please come back anytime. And whenever you come, if you want to make a statement, feel free to do that. You're welcome to do so. Anything else from any of our commission? Do you have anything coming up that you want to bring to our attention?
Oh, Dallas? Oh, okay. On Saturday at Old Alabama Town at 1 o'clock, Dr. Dallas Hanbury will be presenting a presentation on the topic of slave health in Montgomery. From his research, he'll be doing a presentation. We'll also do a informal walkthrough of our slave dwellings and talk about the enslaved folks who actually were there at our Orderman Mitchell House down at Old Alabama Town. So do join us in the church at Old Alabama Town to hear Dr. Hanbury's presentation.
Carol, would you just repeat that time and date?
It's at 1 o'clock this Saturday, and it will be in the church at Old Alabama Town.
Okay, thank you very much. That being said, this meeting is hereby adjourned.